What if I told you that some of the biggest fortunes in history were built not on genius, but on someone else's mistake? Today, we're counting down 10 business decisions that changed the world forever. Some made people billionaires overnight. Others cost them everything. Let's get into it. In 1979, Steve Jobs visited Xerox's research lab. Engineers there had already invented the computer mouse and the graphical interface, everything we use today. Xerox had no idea what they had. Jobs walked out and used every single idea to build the Macintosh. Xerox never recovered. Apple became worth $1 trillion. In 2004, Andy Rubin was developing a small operating system called Android. He approached Nokia, then the biggest phone company on the planet, and offered to sell it. Nokia passed. 2 years later, Google bought Android for $50 million. Today, Android runs 75% of all smartphones on Earth. Nokia no longer exists. In 2000, Reed Hastings flew to Dallas to offer Blockbuster a partnership. Netflix was losing money and wanted to run Blockbuster's online service. The asking price was $50 million. Blockbuster's CEO laughed him out of the room. 10 years later, Blockbuster filed for bankruptcy. Netflix is now worth $280 billion. In 1976, Ron Wayne co-founded Apple with Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak. He owned 10% of the company. 12 days later, fearing personal liability, he sold his stake back for $800. Today, that 10% would be worth over $200 billion. He still lives in a small house in Nevada, selling stamps and coins. In 1999, Larry Page and Sergey Brin tried to sell Google for $1 million. George Bell, CEO of Excite, said no. He even rejected a counteroffer of $750,000. His reasoning? Google was too efficient. People would leave his site too quickly. Excite shut down in 2001. Google is now worth $2 trillion. In 2004, Mark Zuckerberg approached MySpace and offered to sell Facebook for $75 million. MySpace said it was too expensive. 1 year later, News Corp bought MySpace for $580 million. Facebook went on to be worth over $1 trillion. MySpace became irrelevant by 2010. In 1996, J.K. Rowling submitted Harry Potter to 12 different publishers. Every single one rejected it. One editor at Bloomsbury only agreed to publish it because his 8-year-old daughter loved the first chapter. Harry Potter has since sold over 600 million copies and generated $25 billion. Those 12 publishers have never spoken about it publicly. In 1975, a Kodak engineer named Steve Sasson invented the world's first digital camera. Instead of developing it, Kodak buried the project. They were afraid it would kill their film business. 20 years later, digital cameras destroyed Kodak anyway. The company filed for bankruptcy in 2012. The engineer received no royalties. In 2008, Twitter approached Facebook and offered to sell for $500 million. Zuckerberg made an offer. Negotiations collapsed over price. Twitter walked away. The missed acquisition cost Facebook years of dominance in real-time content. Before Apple, Steve Jobs worked at Atari and approached his boss with a new idea. Atari passed. Jobs left, founded Apple in a garage, and changed the entire technology industry forever. The man who fired him later said it was the single biggest mistake of his career. Apple became the first company in history worth $3 trillion. Every single one of these decisions seemed logical at the time. That's the terrifying part. The next $1 trillion idea is probably being rejected somewhere right now. Which of these hit you the hardest? Drop it in the comments below. And if you want more stories like this, subscribe. New video every week.